Good day, folks. This is Greg Judy at Green Pastures Farm. Today we're going to be grilling some grass-finished steak. These are the steaks that we just got back from the Arbiter the other day. And one of them actually had a hanging weight of 632 pounds. The other one was 584. And I've got the black pepper, fresh black pepper already ground on there, and sea salt. That's what we put on our steak. We've got our Weber over here glowing. We've got Ben and Isaac and my sister Monica and John, and we got a heck of it. And my wife Jan's doing the taping. We got a taste panel here. So what we're going to do is we got a lot of other meat cooked too. So nobody's going to go hungry tonight. But we're going to take these on there, put them for 1 minute on each side, and then I'll flip it and then
on the coals.
On the coals, yeah, directly over the coals. And this is a Weber grill. The coals are already white. Don't ever stick them on there until they're white. So we'll do 1 minute on each side, and then I move the steak over, and I'll look at my watch. These are 1 inch thick, and so we're probably going to give it, I'm going to look at it probably 4.5 to 5 minutes off to the side, and then we take them out, and we put them in a preheated pan with aluminum foil over the top. And so this pan will actually go in that grill. Folks, if you put steaks in a cold pan, the cold pan sucks all the heat out of your meat. And now you're eating a cold steak. So always preheat your pan, and that way you got a nice warm steak. So when I take them out of here, they're actually still cooking. That's called resting the steak. So we'll put them in here, we'll let them rest for maybe 3 or 4 minutes if I can wait that long. And then we're gonna tear into them. And what we're going to do is we'll taste test them. We'll try one. Everybody will take a piece of it. And then we'll start on the other one and see how it works. And hopefully they'll be tender. My guess is, based on the finger test, I did this when I brought them home. This steak out of the big steer, 632 pounds, it's a lot softer to push your finger through. This one has a little bit more push to it. But you can see there's plenty of fat cover on here. These animals were never fed any grain. This is all 100% grass and clover. There's no cover crops. We didn't plant anything special. It's just what grows out here in Rucker, mid-Missouri. Sunlight, good healthy soil, healthy animals, it gives you this. And so we're kind of anxious to see what it's going to taste like. So with that, let's get started.
Or let's talk about the coals.
Okay, there's our coals. So what I did is I took these tongs and I just pulled all my coals over to the side because we just got through cooking some grass-fed hamburgers and some brats. And so you want all your coals on one side.
So this is called direct and indirect cooking.
Yeah. So we're going to do like that. So now I'm going to put my steaks right here. And it's pretty easy. It's pretty, if you're doing like 6 or 7 steers, I use color-coded toothpicks. So I'll use like green, blue, red, yellow, and each one goes back to a steer. This is an easy one though. We only have 2 steers, and this is a great big ribeye, okay, on the bigger steer. So it's going to be easy to keep them apart. The smaller steer has a smaller ribeye. So we're going to put that dude on there like that. I'm going to put that one on there like that. And I've got the heat shut down. There's just a small vent. There's a very small vent in the bottom of it. And I've got a little bitty vent in the top. You don't want to shut it all the way down because that just kills your heat. You want a little bit of flow coming through that grill. Oh, most important part. It's 60 seconds. So I'll talk a little bit about these animals. They were 24 months old. The smaller one was like 26. So the big one was actually a little bit younger animal. But he was just a beast. I mean, he just finished really well. He had the fat on the tail head. The other one, he looked like he was a fat man walking too. He kind of had a waddle in his ass, you know, when he walked, in his rear end. So they were both very well fed animals. They wintered, so those would have been calves that would have wintered with us twice. Folks, you want to get them processed before they get 3 years of age. If you got to winter them for 3 years, you're going to take them through the winter again. That's putting a lot of feed in them, and they also can die. animals can die. They can get hit by lightning. They can get out, a tree can fall on them, whatever. So you don't want to keep an animal on your farm longer than 24 months. There's just some risk to that.
But they need to be finished.
I'm going to cover one other thing. There's a lot of people all excited about, oh, we got to get them finished, got to get them finished, got to get them finished, 16 months. I did a conference with a guy that wrote the book called Steak. And I'm sorry if you're watching this steak guy, but I forgot your name. Anyway, he told me, he said, Greg, don't get in a hurry to get these animals finished too soon because it's the age that gives it the beef flavor. If you kill one around 12 to 14, process in 14 to 16 months, they don't have that deep flavor to them. It takes age. And the French, they don't kill animals until they're 4 to 5 years old. A 4 to 5 year old cow is a delicacy over there. In Africa, they kill older animals. They kill 8 to 9 year old cows. And that's what they eat. And they're very, very tasty. So there I went to talking. I went about 10 seconds over. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to flip them over directly on the heat.
Oh, we should have oiled the grill. So always oil the grill before you put the meat on.
It's okay. All right. Now we got 60 more seconds. Those are a little bit thicker steaks than we normally cut. Normally we're about a 3/4 inch. Those are a full 1 inch. So we'll have to kind of play that by ear. I may actually take a little knife and cut into them after I move them off to the side for like say 5 minutes. And then we'll go by that. But you're going to see some juices. Folks, when you're grilling grass-fed meat, you can't overcook it. You don't want to even overcook a corn-fed steak. But corn-fed, it has more fat in it, and it's, a lot of people fire the heat to them. With grass-fed, it's better to sear it and move it away from the heat and cook it slow, what they call low and slow. Over in Argentina, they have a cooking utensil they're called the perilla. And the perilla, the way it works is your meat never comes in contact directly with the heat. It's always over here, and you can move that shelf that the meat's sitting on further, further, further away as you're cooking. And I've never ate a steak off a perilla, but Alan Nation, the owner of the Stockman Grass Farm, he built a perilla, and he said there's no better cooking utensil than a perilla. So maybe down the road someday we'll try and build one, but he said it's awesome for cooking grass-fed meat. Smokey, he's ready for his taste. Aren't you, Smoke? Are you ready for your steak? He's patiently waiting. He's not saying anything. He doesn't have his slobbers coming out, so he's just sitting there waiting for his steak. All right, so now we've got 1 minute after. You don't want to see any flame. So you notice I'm not going to flip it again. I'm going to take the steak and I'm going to drag it. You drag it over. Don't flip it. Drag it over. There we go. All right. You see those got a nice searing on them. The fat is kind of turned a little bit brown. Okay. Golly, I can't wait to taste those. Lid goes back on. And it's 7:02. So at 7:06, that'd be 4 minutes. I'm going to be conservative. Let's go for 7:06. This lid comes off. I'm going to cut into them and we'll look. I don't want to have the steak cooked all the way through. You don't want brown all the way through. You want just a little bit of pink in the middle. So I guess I want to cover a couple other things. I'm just very thankful that we live in the country that we do, United States. I get a lot of emails from people all over the world, and they're saying, Greg, I wish we could do in our country what you all can do there. And so, as bad as things are, folks, we really do have it pretty darn good here in the United States. We have a lot of things we can do without, getting government permission. We can still build ponds where we want them. We can run cattle. We don't have to have permission to do that. And we can grow healthy food. We can grow healthy food over there. And I think that's a big one. If we can grow healthy food for our communities, maybe our families, and and get people back out on the land. I'm really adamant about that. I want to get people back on the land. This crisis we've hit now, where people are running out of food, there's no meat on the meat counters. We've centralized all our meat into 4 big packers, folks. We need more of the small arbiters like Larry. Larry, you know, that's a video that's going to be coming out. I did a video at Larry, KP Processing. He's the one that's cutting these steers up. His butcher plant was completely stuffed full. He couldn't put another animal in there. We need more Larrys out there. Okay, if we had more small processors all around the United States, we wouldn't be in the pickle we are in right now. And you know, you got 8 or 10 people working in processing versus 4,000. That's a difference. That's a big difference. So call your congressman, get out there and let people know we need more arbiters. We need more USDA inspected arbiters. Or maybe give the farmers more control of their meat. Okay, I know the state of Wyoming, it was Wyoming, they voted where farmers can sell meat off their farm now. It doesn't have to be USDA inspected. I think that's a great thing. I mean, the farmers need more control of, you know, the marketing part of this.
Plus, you need to know your farmer.
You need to know your farmer. That's a great point, Jan. Get out there. There's several good websites. I like Joe Robinson's website, eatwild.com. She's got all the meat producers in the United States in your state. You can go in there. Like if you live in Michigan, there'll be the meat purveyors that do grass-fed meat or whatever. Go visit them. Learn them by their first name. Go look at their animals. Learn to read pasture. Learn to read healthy animals. When you go look at the animals, you shouldn't have manure covered all over them. They should be out on the grass. They should be clean. They should have grass, not dirt. Okay. If there's not ample grass out there, they're overstocked. The animals probably aren't doing the best, and that's not going to be a real good eating experience. Just remember this. You eat what your animals eat. If your animals eat high-quality forage, you're going to be eating that when you eat that animal. Okay?
Greg, how does Larry like butchering our animals, and why?
Larry loves butchering our animals, and that's because they're docile. They come in, they're not trying to jump out of the corral. They're always clean.
And what do you mean by clean?
When I mean clean, there's no manure all over them. There's no mud. Oh, and the big one is when he cuts them in two and he goes to actually cut the meat up, he doesn't have to trim off 150 pounds of corn fat. There's not all that waste in there. I mean, you go in, I went in yesterday and took a picture, did some pictures of the bees, and it's like, there was all this lard hanging down inside those corn-fed, and ours didn't have any of that in there. So a lot of your corn-fed bees are overfed a little bit too much. The grass, that's the nice thing about grass. If they get finished and you can't get them to the arbiter, don't worry about it. They're not going to get over finished on you. They're going to be fine. They're going to keep putting on weight and a little bit more of the yellow fat. And you notice these do have the yellow fat on them. And it's been 6 minutes. Let me take that knife.
Mm. Perfect.
No, this one's not quite done.
Okay.
This one is. Now, let's give it two more minutes.
Okay, do you want to put that pan on there?
Yep, let's get the pan in there, get it preheated. Yeah, just set it right here.
And that's why we use glass.
Yep, and put the metal on. Yep, there you go. It'll take about 2 minutes to preheat that pan. Thank you. Now we're gonna need some hot pads.
Oh yeah, I got you.
I don't think any one of us is tough enough to grab that pan.
It's on the other side of the island.
Okay.
Yeah. So we need 2 minutes. I told you those would take a little bit longer because they're quite a bit thicker. I'm not into eating raw meat. Some people are. I kind of like to put a little heat to it before I eat it. Just brings out the flavor and the juices. If you're buying meat across the counter, it's not safe to eat raw meat. You should be cooking it at least some. Get it where it's pink in the middle at least. I think that's pretty. Well, we got another one wanting a snack there, Venus. Her little snooter is picking up on the smell.
Thank you.
Okay, I think we're just about ready. Yeah, this one's ready. So we're going to go ahead and put that one in there. I'm going to move that over here, get it off of those coals. Go ahead, Ben, take that out of it and cover it up with aluminum. This one's going to be like a minute behind it. It's real quick. This one's cooking a little bit slower, and I'm not sure why. Put the lid back on. Give her 1 more minute. So this one's going to have a total of about 8 minutes, just because it's a little bit thicker, maybe than that other steak was. This is off the small steer. That one was the one I'm thinking is going to be more tender, just based on the push test. My finger pushed through that steak a lot easier than this one. It may not be right, but we're going to find out here real quick.
Okay. So you want to sign off and we'll come back later?
Yep, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. I'll tell you all which one was best. And everyone on the way out, hit that subscribe button. We'll see you down the road. Take care.